Okay, guys. I wanted to get on here today, and I just wanted to talk about how my day was. It was a very rough day today, but I learned some very valuable lessons. First of all, I work at a daycare center, and the kids, for some reason today, they were going off in their own little world and just not listening at all. And as soon as I was like, oh, I don't understand why you're not listening to me, the thought that came to me was, maybe that's how God feels when we don't listen to Him. And consequences happen to us because literally they were climbing up the ladder and they kept holding stuff in their hands and they wouldn't let it go. And eventually I said, okay, I'm going to let you guys just go ahead and climb up there, but I want you to know that you can possibly fall and hurt yourself. And no shorter after I said that, it hit me. God treats us the same way. He tells us not to do something, and when we do it and we continue to do it, He just is like, okay, if you get hurt, it's on you because I told you not to do it. And He could tell us not to do something, and we could hear it, or He could tell us not to do something that we read in the Bible and it says, thou shalt not. But we still go and do it. And He's simply telling us these things so that way we won't get hurt. And that's really deep with me, deep to me, because just the example of us as adults and them as children, and that's how God views us, even us that are 89 years old and got gray hairs coming out of our nose. God still views you as His child, and we still can always have something to learn. So just as I've always said, you can never say that you can't learn something from somebody that is lesser than you. I learned a lesson from preschoolers and toddlers today, and that is, nobody is greater than the other. We're all God's children, and when we don't listen, we have to learn. You reap what you sow, so you're gonna have a consequence behind the things when you don't listen. Then the other lesson that I learned today is, a lot of times some of the things that you hear is not what was said, and that came out in a different way. A lot of the times that we could hear things and we're like, well, you said, and the person could simply be like, I didn't say that. And sometimes we don't believe that person. No, that's what I heard you say, is what we say. And a lot of times, just because we heard it doesn't mean that they said it. We got to remember that Satan is the prince of the air. He could be twisting up our words as they come out of our mouth. We also need to remember, if you don't agree with that, we live in the flesh. And the flesh is sinful. The flesh is prideful. We were born into sin and shaped into iniquity. You don't have to teach a baby to be bad. You have to teach a child to be good. So those were my 2 life lessons today. We're viewed as God's children, and He gives us these set rules for a reason. And when we don't follow these set rules, He lets us fall into the consequences of the rules. He didn't make the rules for us so that way we couldn't have fun. He made the rules so that way we wouldn't get hurt. Okay? And a lot of times what you hear isn't what was said. So like I said, it was a very, very difficult day for me, and But I'm through it now, and just wanted to get on here and say that. Maybe that can encourage somebody. You stay blessed. You be blessed. Remember to manifest yourself. Walk in your gifts and your callings that God has given you on this earth. Because He didn't give you those gifts just to go bury them and then come back with the same gifts. He gave you the gifts to help these people out on the world. In the world. I'm sorry. He gave you the gifts to help people in this world. You have something that is in you. It's not something that necessarily needs to be taught to you. It's not something that you have to find. It's inside you. God gave you everything that you needed. Everything that you needed is inside you. Just need to activate it with this little thing called faith. And Jesus. Amen. Have a blessed day.